Hi, I'm Ralph Bass. I'm the author of the book Back to the Future. I want to take a look at Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1 today. We read the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show to his bondservants the things which must soon take place. And he sent and communicated it by his angel to his bondservant. The phrase that catches my attention, and I'd like to share with you, is the phrase that says these things which must soon take place. Well, in fact, the book of Revelation was written 2,000 years ago, and according to many, if not most people, these things did not take place soon. In fact, 2,000 years later, they have yet to take place. But I believe that point of view is wrong, and that they indeed did take place soon. And I'd like to take a look at some of the other verses in the book of Revelation and some other verses that I think will help us understand the proximity and immediacy of these passages to its actual fulfillment. For instance, we read at the end of the book of Revelation, the Lord, the God of the spirits of the prophets, sent his angel to show to his bondservants the things which must soon take place, Revelation 22:6. And at the end of the book we read, and then he said, do not seal the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is near. Well, in fact, there are 10 passages in the book of Revelation that talk about the proximity of its fulfillment with its actual prophecy. These are just a couple. But I'm particularly interested today in the one in which we're told not to seal up the words of the prophecy, for the time is near. Right at the end of the book, we read about this. I'm particularly interested in comparison with what we find in the book of Daniel. But as for you, Daniel, conceal the words and seal up the book until the end of time. Daniel 12 verse 4. And then, go your way, Daniel, for these words are concealed and sealed up until the end of time. Daniel 12:9. Well, that's fascinating. You see, Daniel was written maybe 400 or 500 years BC, and many of these prophecies were fulfilled in the life of Christ, the birth, the life, the death, the burial, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And yet that was a period of maybe 530 years. And because it was such a long period of time, he was told to seal the words of the prophecy, because it's not going to make a lot of sense until it begins to occur. And when it does, of course, then the meaning will be evident. And yet the book of Revelation, which we've had for 2,000 years, we're told those words are still, in some sense, sealed up. They haven't begun to occur. The prophecy has not been fulfilled. Now there's a confusion here. Why do you seal up the words of a book that is 500 years ahead of its time, and yet a book that's 2,000 years, 3,000 years for all we know, but at this point 2,000 years since it's been given, this book was not sealed up, and we're told the time is near, don't seal it up, for the events are at hand. Well, I think we can see from this introduction here in verse 1, chapter 1, that in fact the incidents of the prophecy were very near, were going to take place soon, and in fact did take place within a few years after the prophecy. The prophecy occurred maybe 64, 63 AD, and by 70 AD it was completed. The 3.5 years leading up to AD 70 are the 3.5 years mentioned in the book of Revelation. The book can be understood if it's understood in the light that it had a message to its current audience. But the message to the audience that says, here's something about the church 2,000 years from now, in your crises, in your persecution, be comforted by that, I don't think that would be a great deal of comfort. But it does have comfort if it is a current message, if the things are about to take place, if we're not to seal up the book because of the immediacy of the fulfillment, then the message of the book was a message the current church could have identified with, and I think that's what gives us its meaning. You always have to ask yourself, I don't care what book of the Bible it is, what did its current readers, its immediate readers, think of this book? How did they understand it? What did they get out of it? What did they think the message was? And if you remove a book from its context, then it can mean anything. But if you put it back in that context of its immediate readers, it takes on a light and a meaning very often that it simply can't mean anything else but what that early church would have understood it to mean. Thank you.